32 up-and-coming chefs from across the UK are putting their reputations on the line in a battle to become professional MasterChef champion. 4 new hopefuls are competing to impress Judge Greg Wallace, renowned chef Monica Galetti, and Michelin-starred Marcus Waring.
There is a lot of pressure, so there's a little bit of nerves kicking in.
For me to stand out today is to bring my love into cooking, because cooking without love, the food will be bland.
Cooking really well, getting some positive feedback and going through would be outstanding.
I can't wait to see what talent walks through that door.
This year's competition is going to be a no-holds-barred celebration. Bring it on.
Here we go, new batch of chefs to see. I should imagine they're very keen right now, maybe a little bit scared. 2 of the chefs are going to have a go at your skills test, Monica. 2 of the chefs are going to have a go at yours. Marcus, please, what are you going to set them to do?
I'd like our chefs to cook pan-fried scallops, served with a cauliflower velouté, croutons, and a curry butter sauce.
Some classic skills here on display. How long are you going to give them, Marcus?
20 minutes.
Oh, they're going to have to get a wiggle on. Show me how you do it.
They've got to get this cauliflower velouté on pretty quick. It's not a soup, it's not a sauce, it sort of sits in between. So I'm starting with the shallots because I want to sweat them down. Just nice and fine. A little bit of oil in the pan. Put a little pinch of curry into there. And I like the curry into this because I think it just really does bring out the flavour of the cauliflower very, very well. Just let that sweat under a lid. You really want to get the cauliflower cut down as fine as you possibly can.
They've got to think timing, so slicing it down the way Marcus is doing is all going to cook quickly at the same time, get a lot of flavour through into that sauce.
I love cauliflower. There's a creamy earthiness to it that I really like.
Now I'm going to go on to my croutons. They can do whatever they like. I'm going to marinate mine. Olive oil, oregano, a little bit of curry powder. Now that we've sweated the cauliflower down, touch of chicken stock. And I'm just going to put some milk into there. So, croutons are marinating, velouté gently cooking away. I'm now going to prep my scallops. You've got no flesh left on the flat side. Just gently work around the skirt. Just nick the muscle, and the scallop just falls out.
We don't want to see them be rough with the scallops. You know, it's just going to damage this beautiful ingredient.
They can wash them, but they must dry them straight away. What you don't want to do is have them too wet when it comes to cooking them because they'll just poach in the pan. Now I'm going to blend my velouté. Just put a little splash of cream, a couple of knobs of butter.
We want it lovely, smooth, a velvety texture, thick, rich, creamy sauce to go with your scallops.
My velouté is ready, croutons are ready. Now, for the last minute, I'm just going to cook these scallops. They can leave them whole if they want. Cutting them in half and cooking them this way, 30 seconds in the pan and they'll be done. It's nicely cooking away.
I love the foaming butter in the pan, I really do.
We really don't want them to overcook those scallops.
I've just put a few knobs of butter, a touch of curry in there, and this is my curry sauce. So we're good to go.
Oh, that's lovely, the scallop against the crouton. Oh, I do like that.
And there you have it. Cauliflower velouté, scallops, crouton, and a curry butter.
Beautiful.
I'd like to think our chefs have been practicing opening scallops, making croutons, no problem. And if they can bring some of that together, I think you're on to a winner. What could go wrong?
Monica, you're going to be watching on the monitor from the other room, and you're going to come back in for the critique and the tasting, right?
All right, see you later.
Marcus, we have chefs waiting and they've got a lot of skillful work to do here. Should we get them in?
Yeah, let's see what they can do.
Originally taught to cook by his grandparents in his native Indonesia, 47-year-old head chef Budiono has been cooking professionally for 27 years.
I decided to become a chef because, to be honest with you, I don't like to be hungry, right? Cooking is all I know. I cook from early age. As Indonesian, I have so much passion for Indonesian cuisine. So simple, sexy, yummy food. That's mine. Life as a chef is to give love to the food. Few times I get kissed by the guests, right? Imagine this one, I'm sweating and I get kissed by the guests. That's incredible feeling. I'm ready to give all I have.
Budiono, welcome to MasterChef. Everybody, as you know, has to do the skills test. This one was set by Marcus.
Thank you.
Good to see you. I'd like you to prepare and cook scallops, serve it with a cauliflower velouté, croutons, and a curry butter sauce. Achievable?
Achievable.
Good.
You look incredibly confident, are you?
Not really. I have 5% confident, 95% nervous.
He's honest.
20 minutes, off you go.
Thank you. Just wish me luck, please.
Budiono, why'd you come on MasterChef?
There's only one purpose coming to MasterChef, promoting Indonesian cuisine.
He's just added some cream and it would have been good to see the shallots completely sweated through before he did that. Slowed down a little bit.
You've worked with scallops before.
Not much, but last year, when I was in one hotel, I learned from the chef.
You work fast, but you must be busy in your hotel, right?
Yes, in one point, I serve 900 plates in one day.
He's just rushing a bit too much. Slow down, slow down.
I think he's nervous.
I mean, that must have been all of what, 6 minutes?
Now I sear my scallop.
Is that thyme and rosemary in this scallop?
So how do you make curry butter sauce?
I just emulsified butter, a little bit cream maybe, reduce down my stock.
You have 5 minutes left.
Thank you.
Okay?
He's got so much time left.
You happy with everything?
I am actually, I have mentality to win. Talking to you in here, this is already my winning.
The scallops pan wasn't hot enough when you put them in. Could be slightly under.
Oh my God.
Take your time. You've got time.
Are you done?
Yes, sir.
You had half a minute to spare.
Half a minute, no? Here you go.
Hey!
That's it.
Are you done now?
I'm done now. One job done.
Let's go see what this is like. Wow, you were going 100 miles an hour there. Just slow it down a little bit. You all right now?
Fine, thank you.
They're not cooked.
Okay.
That's a shame because you prepped them very well. I like the beautiful smooth velouté. It tastes of cauliflower. You've got a curry sauce there as well, so it's got the curry flavours running through it. I think you can cook. I think you know that you can do better than this.
Looks nice. Disappointed with the scallops. It's not always about the speed, it's also about getting the best flavors out of the ingredients that you're working with here. Come back fighting, yeah?
I think we are a couple of minutes away from a very, very good dish indeed. As it is, we've obviously got a problem with an undercooked scallop. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
Off you go. Thank you.
I feel the scallop with my hand and it should be already cooked, but
Next to face Marcus's skills test is 27-year-old John, sous chef of a fine dining restaurant in Bath.
Here we serve really British, wild, sustainable food. I try and keep things honest to who I am, which is I'm a British boy cooking British food. As the forager here, I spend a lot of my free time with days off in the woods, picking leaves and vegetables that I bring back to the restaurant and we put on the menu. I feel like I'm really starting to come into my own, and I feel like MasterChef is a fantastic opportunity and really want to get in there and make the most of it.
John, welcome. I'd like you to prepare and cook scallops. Serve them with a cauliflower velouté, croutons and a curry butter sauce.
Lovely.
20 minutes, off you go.
I'm going to get the velouté on first. I'm going to sweat down some cauliflower in butter, add some stock, and I'm making butter sauce, and I'll leave the scallops till last.
Brilliant, sounds good.
Why are you a chef, John?
I went to university to do 3D modeling and animation. Decided that wasn't for me and ended up working in a little local pub.
How long ago was that?
9 years. I love the camaraderie and the rush of service, making customers happy. I've completely fallen in love with it.
Be careful of that knife.
When's the last time you opened one of them?
2 years ago.
Oh my God, I can't watch when they hold the knife like that. It's quite frightening to watch. He's actually very careful once he gets them open, which is good to see.
Any passions outside of food, John?
I've got a second-degree black belt.
What? In what?
Bujinkan Ninjutsu. Bujinkan Ninjutsu is a traditional Japanese martial art.
Coming up to halfway, give us a rundown of where you are and what's left.
Stock's just got in for the velouté. I'm going to reduce that down and then add cream. Give these scallops a little wash, let it pat dry.
As long as it's done very quickly like he's done, it's okay to wash them. He's got to make sure they're very dry, though. Buttery croutons. But he's got to make sure that the heat's not too hot so they don't burn.
Tell me about the butter sauce. How are you making that?
I'm just going to take some butter down with curry powder in it.
Right, John, you've got a couple of minutes left. Are you happy with everything?
Yeah.
John, you've got 1 minute, please.
Perfect.
Play it up.
Thank you.
Some of those croutons look dark.
All done?
Yes.
And breathe.
Thank you.
All right, John.
Hi, Chef.
The scallops taste delicious. Beautifully caramelised, a little bit of butter in there. I saw you basting them. That was great. I made a velouté. That's more of a puree, but it's lovely and smooth. The curry butter is great. Beautifully presented. Croutons, come on.
The pan was just
Yeah.
too hot. It's a shame about those, because otherwise it would have been a great complete dish. But for your velouté, you can taste the cauliflower. I like that you cooked everything gently and let the flavours develop.
Well done. We're all, I think, looking forward to seeing what you could do in the next round.
Thank you very much. To have got good comments on the skills round is fantastic. It's a brilliant start. I'm very happy.
Monica, we have 2 chefs waiting to do your skills test. What is it, please?
I would like our chefs to make a chocolate crème pâte filled Swiss roll with a raspberry sauce.
How long are you going to give them?
Our chefs have 20 minutes.
Show us how you do it, please.
All right. So I'm giving our chefs the sponge ready-made. Clearly, they're not going to be able to get that done in 20 minutes. But the first thing I need to do is to get my crème pâte on. The ingredients are weighed out for them.
That crème pâtissier is the key to this, I think, because if it's the wrong consistency, it's just not going to work.
You can't confuse a crème pâte with a crème anglaise. A crème anglaise is custard. A crème pâte, of course, is thick, like clotted cream.
You're right, Greg. The crème anglaise was custard isn't thickened with any flour at all.
I think if any of our chefs have done any pastry work, they will have made a crème pâtissier.
So the milk has come up to the boil. Just going to mix everything together.
Is the temperature of the milk important?
The milk needs to be hot. So normally heat the milk up and then pour it onto the egg yolks, whisking over, and then back into the pan.
What Monica's doing here is she's cooking out the flour. The flour is the real thickening agent. Like a roux, you've got to put it on the stove and cook it.
Has that got to chill now?
Yes.
You worked really fast there, really fast.
So while the crème pâte is chilling, I'm going to prepare the sponge ready to fill and roll. And a trick that I've learned over the years is if you take a dishcloth that's clean and just dampen it with a little bit of water, for me, it works a real treat when you're rolling. Got some caster sugar here, and I'm just going to add a little bit of cinnamon to it. And then I'm going to season the tea towel with it. The caster sugar gives it a nice texture. So for me, adding a bit of cinnamon onto that at the same time is bringing another element to the dish. Take our sponge. So I've got some raspberry liqueur. You've seen some Swiss rolls, they tend to crack. So that's also going to help this.
The more that sponge stays moist, the easier it is to roll.
Sure.
The crème pâte, it's nicely set, but I want to be able to spread it again. So what I'm going to do is whisk it up again.
What about if you tried to spread it while it was warm? Would that work?
It might be a bit tricky for them to roll. If it's too warm, it can sort of seep out the sides. I've got some raspberries, and I'm just going to push them through.
She's on a roll.
And that's just going to go back into the fridge for a couple of minutes while I make my sauce.
That's splendid.
Got some lovely raspberries here, icing sugar, a touch more of alcohol.
Aye, aye. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Look at that, look at that, look at that. That's lovely. I love the swirl of the chocolate.
So here we have it, a chocolate crème pâte filled Swiss roll with a raspberry sauce.
And it's a great challenge. So many areas this could go wrong for our chefs. Crème pâtissier looks easy, but actually it's not.
Marcus, you are going to keep your watchful eye on proceedings from another room. I've got a good feeling about this. Should we get them in?
Yeah, come on, let's get them in.
34-year-old Rodri from Cardiff worked in education before deciding to retrain as a chef 6 years ago.
I came into chefing quite late, and for me, it's not just about style, it's about making sure that the substance is there as well. We're a meat and game pub. We're big on our lamb here. We tend to work with a lot of local farmers. We also put a massive emphasis on seasonal and local produce. I like a lot of traditional cooking techniques, but kind of styling them out a bit more with contemporary flair, so kind of like a mix of the old school and the new school.
Rodri, I would like you to make a chocolate crème pat in a Swiss roll with a raspberry sauce. How does that sound to you?
Something I'm not as familiar with as I'd like to be right now.
Pastry or crème pat?
Crème pat.
You've not made one before?
Not recently, it was a while ago.
The crème pat ingredients are weighed out to your left. You have 20 minutes. Good luck.
Thank you.
Interesting. I wonder what the pan of water's for. Let's see where he's going to go with this.
You're starting with your crème pat?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
you can start with the crème pat, get that working, and then slowly start to cool it so it can get, well, not slowly start to cool it, quickly start to cool it
Yeah.
before it gets into the Swiss roll.
Rodri, why are you a chef?
I'm a chef because I love food, and I think you have to love food if you want to be a chef.
What sort of kitchen are you working in?
It's a pub kitchen, so haven't really had much experience in pastry the last couple of years.
So he's put some milk in there. So he's got eggs, sugar, and milk. Is that the flour just gone in? Yeah. You'll never be able to cook that out on top of water. You need to get it into a pan, you need to get it onto the stove.
So I've traditionally done custards over bain-marie.
This is not the same as custard.
Looking for like a nice, like thickish consistency. It's kind of hard to work out if it needs more, if it needs less.
Thickening?
Yeah, thickening, maybe not quite where I want it to be.
Put it in a pan and get it on the stove.
Rodri, you're now halfway. You got 10 minutes left.
Sweet.
Now that should be in the fridge cooling down now.
Getting there. Might be worth putting on one of these.
Just going to pour it onto the tray. There's a huge possibility it won't even cool in time.
You got about 6 minutes left.
Okay. I've got my raspberries simmering away here. Try and make some sort of jam.
So what are you doing with that cream?
Just whipping it up. So get a nice base of chocolate, a little bit of cream in there.
You have 4 minutes left, Rodri.
Thank you.
How's that?
It's cool at the bottom.
Is it spreadable?
Definitely spreadable.
Careful, careful.
Probably not as thick as I'd want it to be.
We've got a couple of minutes left, all right? We're going to have to up the pace here as well.
Wait.
When he starts to roll this, it's just going to go everywhere.
Right, time's up. Are you done?
Done.
You look very relieved that's over, are you?
Certainly, yeah, definitely relieved.
You've got to feel for them. That's not easy. That looked tough.
It wasn't as easy as I'd wanted it to have gone, certainly.
The raspberry sauce, yeah, you made one, but it was a hot one, so it sort of melted the rest of what was in there. Crème pat, you tried to cook it out over the bain-marie, so that's where you went wrong, and of course it was never going to cook out properly in 20 minutes.
Even though you may have forgotten what a crème pat is, the flour should have told you what you needed to know to make it work. That's not great, so put a line under this. Your food's coming next. I want to see something a little bit better than this.
Absolutely, I guarantee it.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you. Making the mistake with the crème pat has cost me this round, unfortunately. But I look forward to making amends in the next round.
Last up is Anthony, a 28-year-old classically trained junior sous chef from London.
Most of my career has been always Michelin-star restaurants. So I started my career in a one-star, and then I moved to France, another one-star. Now I'm here in another one-star in a hotel. It's a lot of responsibility for a sous chef. My dad actually also was a chef, so that kind of inspired me, and he was always cooking at home. So just the love of cooking started from when I was really young. All the experience that I've got going up the levels in the kitchen, it's set me up to be ready for a competition like this.
Anthony, I would like you to make us a chocolate crème pat and a Swiss roll served with a raspberry sauce.
Okay, lovely.
You seem confident.
The sponge is ready-made for you, and the crème pat ingredients are weighed out. 20 minutes, off you go.
Thank you.
He needs to remember that everything's been weighed out. The 3 eggs are for the crème pat, so he needs to use all 3 eggs. He's just used 2.
When was the last time you made a crème pat?
Oof, probably when I was in my apprenticeship, probably about 8 years ago.
So when you heard you had to do a crème pat, how did you feel?
Yeah, I was kind of expecting a pastry element, especially from Monica.
So he's just putting in what he thinks is the correct amount. He's not listened.
What's your style of food like?
I would say it's definitely French, with like a modern twist, adding kind of spices and different influences.
What is it you love about French cuisine?
But I'd say it's just the refinement and it's a different level, I think. Being half French.
How are you?
My dad is French and my mum's English.
It's not coming together, is it? As long as he gets the dry ingredients out the centre of that whisk, he should be OK.
How's the crème pat looking?
It's starting to just thicken at the moment.
Make sure you cook it enough.
Are you happy with it?
I could say it'd be a tiny bit smoother, to be honest.
That's because you didn't sieve the flour or the cocoa.
You're halfway. You've got 10 minutes left.
Just remind me what's going into your sauce.
So at the moment, we've just got raspberries, a tiny sprinkle of sugar, and I've just put a little bit of the crème de framboise just at the end there.
Nice.
That looks too thick. Let's see how it spreads.
I thought it was going to be a lot lumpier, but it seems to be all right.
It needs to be a lot more even, especially on the far side.
We've got a nice big portion.
1 each.
Are you all done?
All done.
I find the crème pat really dense. The ingredients were weighed out for you. The fact that you didn't use the whole recipe didn't give you enough crème pat. There's too much sponge, it's quite dry. If you had thicker sauce, it would really help with the dry sponge.
The crème pat, you can taste the flour. It's not cooked out. The proportions are wrong. I think you can do better than this, Anthony.
You look a little disappointed. I shouldn't be too disappointed. We understand you might be nervous the first time we see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I knew how to make everything they asked me. It was just the pressure just got to me, and I just went blank, and I could have done so much more.
I think John right now will be feeling pretty pleased with himself. The other three probably feel they've got a point to prove. I am really looking forward to this.
Chefs, welcome back into the kitchen. Now is your signature two-course menu. After the skills test, some of you, I'm sure, think that you've got a point to prove.
You've got an hour and a half to give us 2 exceptional courses. 1 main, 1 dessert. At the end of this, 2 of you will be going through to the next round. 2 of you, unfortunately, will be leaving us. Chefs, do what you do and do it brilliantly well. Off you go.
Looking forward to putting the last round behind me and stepping on the good foot and making a good impression to the judges. Both the dishes are well rehearsed. Big fan of meat and game, so I'll be using a lot of that.
Rodri, what are your 2 dishes today?
So I'm going to be cooking a stuffed rabbit leg. I'm going to be using some of the offcuts to make my sauce. Yeah, that flavour, that game flavour into the sauce as well. Some pom puree, some pickled fennel and whole grain mustard sauce, and a little bit of seasonal asparagus as well.
Why rabbit?
I really love the textures, the tastes. It's personal to me. It's something that I've always had around me, so it's familiar as well, but also something that maybe not everyone's tried. And then for dessert, we're going to be doing a Earl Grey sponge with baked white chocolate, some crème fraiche, and some macerated strawberries, just finished off with some tarragon.
There is chocolate and sponge in your dessert?
Yes. Ironically.
Your second sponge of the day?
Second sponge of the day. Hopefully we can make amends on this second one.
The rabbit leg has not got a lot of fat on it. It's all lean meat. And he needs to be very, very careful when he's cooking it because rabbit leg does dry out very, very quickly. We've got a pickled fennel, we've got a fennel and mustard sauce, we've got a pom puree. We know these ingredients work together. The wow factor of this dish will have to come from the good cookery. There's nowhere to hide.
There's a fine line with cooking rabbit. You obviously don't want to overcook it, and you certainly don't want to undercook it. So those margins are tight. But yeah, I've been doing it for long enough now, so hopefully I can just rely on those instincts and execute.
Oh, I like the sound of this Earl Grey sponge. I hope we can taste some of the Earl Grey with baked white chocolate. I'm curious how he's going to present this cake and how this dessert is going to come together. I'm expecting something really quite stunning and pretty on the plate.
It's quite a big workload, high risk, high reward there. Yeah, obviously the stakes are a lot higher.
This is Indonesian food, so I have to be very, very good at it. I don't have any choice. If everything goes well, the judges should appreciate what I'm doing.
Budiono has set the kitchen on fire with the smell of the spices he's got going on. He's got a main course of Balinese spiced duck breast. There's cumin, there's fresh turmeric going on. There are 2 types of different galangal, which is a type of ginger flavors. He's marinating his duck with all these spices.
You want the duck breast to be cooked just right, lovely and pink, and you want the spices to complement the flavour.
We've got sweet potato puree, lots of Balinese vegetables. I'm really curious what Budiono is going to do with duck egg and how that's going to work on the plate. On his dessert, he's using an Asian type of squash. He's setting it a bit like a panna cotta. He's got a filo pastry, tuile to go with it, coconut milk mousse, coconut jam, and a coconut sugar sauce.
The dessert is only combined in 2 ingredients, Asian squash with coconut.
Well, I've not had a dessert like this before, and I like the fact that he's kept it simple, but he also needs to make sure that he's executed beautifully well.
This is where I can get the best out of what I do, or the worst out what I can do. Super big moment.
Are you excited about now cooking your own food?
This is my best opportunity in my life to make sure that I nail it.
You are a man on a mission.
I cook main course as a representing of a Balinese cuisine. So it's not a traditional way, but I try to put a little bit twist on it.
I'm intrigued. I'm excited. I love to try different things, and that's definitely what you have here.
I believe that Indonesian food is really, really good, and hopefully they will give a little good word to complement Indonesian cuisine.
35 minutes gone already. How about that?
I'd like to say I'm fairly calm, so I think the judges definitely saw that. These 2 dishes, the tried and tested recipes, they're unusual and hopefully slightly new, but there's nothing too left field.
What is it going to be, John? What's your menu?
For the main course, I'm cooking a duck breast with carrots baked in coffee grounds, carrot puree, some of the little pickled carrots, carrot tops, fondant potato, and then I've got rose bay willow herb, which is a foraged vegetable. It's a little bit like a slightly bitter asparagus. It's got a nice snap to it, flows really nice on the plate.
How much foraging do you do, and why?
I do all the foraging for the restaurant I work at. I enjoy walking. I get to combine food and my free time in one.
What's dessert, John?
For dessert, we're doing a white chocolate cheesecake on a granola base. I'm going to do a beetroot jelly on the top, and then a beetroot and thyme sorbet, some pickled candy beetroot, and then I've got some baby beetroot that I'm going to poach in a stock syrup and then dehydrate, a bit like stem ginger.
Is that unusual on purpose?
So I don't think it should be that unusual. And carrot cake got invented. We were doing parsnip cakes, beetroot cakes. We were using sweet, earthy vegetables.
Duck, for me, it's going to be beautiful, crisp skin. It's got to be well rested. We do not want that bleeding all over the plate. I'm really curious about this rose bay willow herb. I've not used it before. Fondant potato, the name speaks for itself. It's going to be cooked all the way through and literally melting when you get into it.
We know vegetables can work with dessert. Carrot cake, it's classic. The key to beetroot cookery is what you put with it. Sometimes can be a flat flavour. White chocolate and cheesecake, yes. White chocolate and cheesecake with beetroot, not sure.
There are some very classic techniques in there, and yeah, some slightly unusual flavourings, but they're not gimmicky, they're there for a reason.
"25 minutes left. All right, chefs?
Come on, man.
Since I was young, I've always loved cooking. It was always a passion of mine to be in the kitchen and just try out new things. For the main course, it's going to be a turbot roasted on the bone with a courgette puree, different variations of courgette. It's going to be served with a lemon verbena oil split into champagne sauce. It's a lovely classic French dish, but with a slight twist.
Turbot cooked on the bone doesn't get any better. It is the best way to cook turbot. If the fish fillet doesn't come away from the bone, then it isn't cooked. If it just gently slides away from the bone, it's perfect. It's all about the timing and it's all about the skill of the chef.
Dessert is chocolate ganache infused with blackcurrant and hibiscus tea, with a chocolate crumb, milk ice cream, fresh wild mixed strawberries,
The ganache has got to be perfectly set so that your spoon literally goes through it like soft butter. You've got to make sure he gets the balance of it because it can be very sweet.
You look disappointed after the first round.
Yeah, very much so, yeah. I want to prove myself and just be the best I can, really, and go as far as I can in the competition.
What is it about cookery that appeals to you so much?
I just love it, really, just ingredients and just different styles of cooking and bringing different influences in there and different spices. Yes, really gets me going, really, I think, yeah.
Who's supporting you through this? Who's cheering you on?
I think everybody in the kitchen is supporting me, and also my mum, my girlfriend at home watching, so got a lot of support, moral support for me.
I like the sound of the two dishes you've put together. Good luck, Anthony.
8 minutes, just 8 minutes.
Let's go. Come on, guys.
Just 60 seconds, please. Time is up. Stop.
Sous Chef Rodri's signature main is rolled rabbit leg stuffed with spinach and pork mince and wrapped in bacon. Served on a bed of pomme puree with asparagus, pickled fennel, and a fennel and mustard sauce.
The rabbit is as dry as it looks, which is a shame, because I was looking forward to this. Your pomme puree, for me, you've overworked the potato. If this was whipped up with milk and butter, it would still have a lightness to it.
There's a sort of weird bit of something in the centre there. I'm not too sure if it's a bit of offal or blood vein. If there's anything when you do your butchery, you've got to make sure that everything's taken out that shouldn't be there. The detail that is so, so important with a piece of meat that's not easy to cook at the best of times.
I like your sauce. I do like the sharpness of the mustard in there, also flavour of fennel. I really like the pickled fennel. I think that's a lovely idea. But there's still little bits of grit in the head of the asparagus.
Rodri's dessert is an Earl Grey sponge, coated in baked white chocolate and served with whipped crème fraîche, macerated strawberries and tarragon.
I really love the flavour of the Earl Grey running through it. I just sort of wish maybe you had a sauce because it's such a big piece of cake. It's nice, but I was expecting just a bit more wow factor with your dessert here, Rodri.
Oui.
It's not a light sponge. I don't mind that at all. It is quite dense. I think the flavours in the cake, it suits it. The chocolate around the outside, the white chocolate's a brilliant idea because then you just get sweetness at the edge. I think the tarragon is really clever. I really like that little bit of aniseed across it.
The white chocolate caramel around the outside is a great addition. Works very well. What this is missing is an Earl Grey tea syrup. You know, if you're going to call something Earl Grey tea, give me Earl Grey. I like your ideas, though. I think the combination's great. This has got great potential, this dish.
Thank you. I might have bitten off a little bit more than I could chew. Just an extra couple of minutes would have done me great, but it's the name of the game. You know, you've got 3 exceptional judges to cook for, so, you know, you've got to be on the money.
For his main course, junior sous chef Anthony has made roasted turbot topped with caviar, with courgette puree, pickled courgettes, and white asparagus, served with a champagne and lemon verbena oil sauce.
I think the turbot is beautifully cooked, albeit maybe just a little bit too long in the pan. The lemon verbena oil is a lovely touch. The champagne sauce is beautifully made. And I do like the little verbena herb as well. So fragrant, fresh, good idea, great flavours, just a touch more on the seasoning. It's a good start, Anthony.
Thank you, chef.
That champagne sauce is divine. It is creamy and buttery, and it's got a slight bitterness to it. I love the courgette puree you got in there. It tastes like summertime. It's so fresh. There are such lovely flavours in there, and although caviar is a beautiful luxury item, I'm not sure it needs it.
When the sauce was poured onto this, it 100% completed the plate. The different textures of the courgettes, the pickling with a bit of sharpness coming through it, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Looked beautiful, tasted just as good.
Anthony's dessert is a hibiscus and blackcurrant chocolate ganache with a chocolate and hazelnut crumb, served with white balsamic strawberries, strawberry jam, and a milk ice cream.
Nice presentation, that, Anthony. Very nice, very, very neat, very tidy. The ganache has got a lovely texture to it. It's nice and smooth. It's a very strong chocolate flavour. I'm not getting the hibiscus as much as I would have liked, but it's very well made.
Okay, thank you.
I love that chocolate ganache. That with milk ice cream, mate, I'm almost in heaven. I mean, that is divine.
Thank you.
The strawberry jam helps with the richness of this dense chocolate. With the texture of the crumb, it's brilliant. You have shown great skill in the pastry department. Surely you must be pleased after your skills test.
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely improved since then, I think, yeah. I think I've redeemed myself after the skills test, to be honest. It's a good feeling to get some positive comments.
Can't be happy with that.
Yeah, it was all right, yeah.
Head chef Budiono's Indonesian-inspired first dish is a Balinese spiced duck breast, served with sweet potato puree, steamed Asian vegetables including water spinach, long beans and jackfruit, a rice and turmeric cracker, duck egg, charred baby gem, and a turmeric, ginger and lemongrass Balinese sauce.
The spices are working very well with the duck. There's no two ways about it. You get spice, you understand how to use them, you use them very, very well. But I think your duck cookery isn't very good. Yes, it's cooked, it's pink, but the fat is pulling the meat tight. It's not rendered down properly.
One of my pieces of duck is fine, crispy skin. The other piece needs some more cooking. I can't really eat that. I find it quite salty. I really welcomed the sweet potato because it was a really nice, thick, rich sweetness against all the saltiness.
I love the Balinese sauce that you've made, the crispy rice cracker. That works so well. I don't think the duck egg is needed.
Thank you.
For dessert, Budiono has made an Asian kabocha pumpkin pudding with a phyllo pastry tuile filled with a coconut mousse, served with a coconut jam and a coconut sugar sauce.
How do I say in Indonesian, I love that?
Saya suka.
Saya suka, I'll tell you, I absolutely love that. I think that is really, really clever. It has a little bit of the perfume of the pandan leaves against the kombucha that I really, really like. The sauce as well gives it a little bit of bitterness. The combination of coconut sweetness, pandan, and that sweet kombucha squash, I think is divine.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm quite the opposite.
Oh!
I don't like it at all. There's far too much gelatin in the squash. I find the mousse, the coconut mousse, just a little bit flat, not really getting too much flavour from there. And the sauce around the outside, it's sweet, it's sticky, it works, but I think maybe it's just not me.
The flavours of the coconut work very well with the squash you have here and the caramel. It's just a lot of it is just too much for me and it's just too sickly sweet.
To introduce something completely different is not easy. I try my best. All the constructive feedback I will bring home and I will work from this moment. So moving forward, I will do better and better and better.
Sous Chef John has made pan-roasted duck breast with fondant potato, coffee-baked carrot, topped with pickled carrot and hazelnut, steamed rosemary willow herb and carrot puree, served with a red wine and orange liqueur sauce.
The cooking of the duck is beautiful. It's so soft, the skin has been rendered down nicely, however lacking in a pinch or two of seasoning, which is a shame. I was really looking forward to trying this green herb that you have here, but unfortunately it's just very watery. The hazelnuts are a bit overcooked, so they're bitter, but I think you get away with it because you've got the bitterness of the coffee on the carrot, and of course hazelnuts with coffee work very well.
That coffee carrot is exactly like I've got hold of a carrot and I've stirred my espresso with it. That sauce, to me, is extraordinary. It's really quite meaty, but it's got a sweetness and a sharpness to it. I'm very intrigued by the flavour combinations I'm having here. I'm liking it a great deal.
Potato fondant is delicious. They're buttery and they're soft. It's like ice cream melting in your mouth, which is really, really good. But if you didn't have such a strong flavoured sauce, this dish would be bland across the board. Unfortunately, there's no real great flavour to it at all.
John's dessert is white chocolate cheesecake on a granola base, topped with a beetroot gel and fennel pollen, with roast baby beetroot and pickled candied beetroot, served with a beetroot and thyme sorbet.
I think the sorbet is absolutely fantastic. Well made, smooth, and works a treat with this dish. And the glaze of the beautiful, bright purple beetroot is lovely. Great, vibrant colour. You look at the plate and you think, beetroot, really? Wow, it shouldn't really be there. But it does work.
The cheesecake itself, really lovely. The granola base got a lovely texture to it. And then the beetroot over the top, I just wish you had more of that lovely fennel pollen over it as well.
Your cheesecake, I think, is really, really clever with the tartness of the cheese and the sweetness of the base. However, I can't get on with the big chunks of baby beetroot because they're not pickled sharp enough to give them anything else other than a really earthy beetroot flavour. It reminds me of a savoury dish, not a dessert.
Glad to have it over with. Yeah, a hard hour and a half. But I'm glad they found it intriguing and not new and disgusting.
We've got some really interesting chefs in here, haven't we? Not afraid to be brave, be bold, be daring. I've really, really enjoyed that. Do you have a standout chef?
I think Anthony's an interesting chef. I think the dish of the day was his turbot cooked on the bone with the variety of courgettes. Lovely sauce, great textures.
I absolutely love that turbot dish. That was my favourite dish.
His dessert, really lovely chocolate ganache with the strawberries and a really nice milk ice cream.
There was a points there that I felt that he could have improved, but overall, I think Anthony was the strongest chef in the kitchen.
Rodri had a tough day in the kitchen. The cooking of the rabbit wasn't good, it had dried, that mashed potato. I was disappointed with the end result.
His dessert, I like the Earl Grey element of it, I like the idea, the presentation was nice, but it needed more.
Rodri is leaving the competition. Anthony is going through to the next round. That means we have to discuss John and Budiono.
Budiono's duck dish, I love the flavours of the spices through the duck and how the heat sort of grew gradually as you were eating it.
The spice for cookery was good, the sauce was delicious, but the duck wasn't the best cookery, didn't really render the fat down well enough.
Out of the three of us, I was the only one who really, really enjoyed Budiono's dessert.
I didn't enjoy it. Too much gelatine, too sweet, too sticky. Wasn't my thing, not for me.
John's got some great ideas.
The duck cooking was great, and the fondant so beautifully cooked and soft. However, the foraged herb was watery. He hadn't cooked it in a way to really show it off.
His dessert, I like the cheesecake. I thought the beetroot sorbet was delicious. Great texture and a lovely flavour of beetroot. If you're not a big fan of beetroot, I can see why you may question this dessert, but I just thought it worked well.
It's been an incredibly stressful day, but I really want to be back in there and cook again. I'd really love to go through and show them more of what I've got.
If I can go through next stage, I cannot describe how proud I am, but let's see.
So much to admire here today. You've worked incredibly hard. From all of us, well done.
We have made a decision, and the first chef that is leaving us is Rodri.
Thank you, Rodri.
The second chef leaving the competition is Budiono.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will take only positive side of this experience. Today is one day I lose, but I will pick up my pieces and then wake up tomorrow, become a winner again.
Yeah, a bit sad to be going out so early, but hey, that's life. It's been an experience I'll never forget.
Anthony, John, congratulations. You are on your way.
Been excited, yeah, really, really happy. I put a lot of work into thinking of those dishes. Yeah, it's a crazy experience, but it's very enjoyable.
Today has been fantastic. I'm super stoked that I'm still in. Ready for more, ready and hungry for more.
Next time, it's the quarter-final. And this week's best chefs return to face two demanding challenges.
You're under a bit of pressure right now.
That isn't working, is it?
I'm just absolutely blown away by this.
Only the best will earn a place in the semi-finals.